So my name is Loukas Tzitzis. I am the general manager of Office Line SA. The company is 28 years old. It has a legacy of 900 projects being delivered. According to Microsoft, we are a top 3% partner globally. And frankly speaking, and we're very proud of that, we have a legacy of delivering and focusing on doing the right thing for the clients on time, on budget, and spec. The company has had this DNA and ethos of being almost to a fault inbound and inward to a certain extent, which is very typical for companies that excel in delivery, that have long tenures of excellent resources. It has been Microsoft, in fact, that for a number of years has been saying that the time has come for the company to expand beyond its confines. The first tactical activities had already been done, but the time came for that to become strategic. I actually met the company this year during an AI lecture that I was giving in Athens. I noticed that the company was all about what I also believe being the right thing. I've been a member of the grand finale before in the past, and I've been a CIO myself, and I've always liked companies that focus on the right thing and realize that, in fact, relationships get built when you deliver on time and you deliver what you had promised, what you have sold, and giving superior technology that is not being sold for the sake of technology, but has a business benefit and a business value for clients. I really liked what I saw. I saw a culture that I believe can be leveraged towards certain regions, and I saw a certain amount of experience that I believe can bring value to those target regions where we're going out now. So I will be running the international expansion and the growth of the company across the globe. And obviously we're doing that in waves. I always like to answer this question in a dual fashion. There's obviously the technology side of things and the technical side of things, but I think it is important that we do not lose track of the fact that IT is not just about technology, but there is a culture element. How do you partner with customers, and what do we use technology and products? Historically, the company has been very strong on Microsoft technologies. So starting with Azure and cloud, not only in terms of, by the way, cloud through hyperscalers, but the company has had experience in terms of virtual private cloud, national sovereign clouds, running virtualized environments as well. And then on top of that, there have been certain pillars. So we have had what we call the modern workplace solutions based on Office 365. We have had Power Platforms, and that is something that has been gaining traction more and more, probably in the last 5 years. And I'm not talking just about Greece, but we're seeing that wider in the southeast of Europe and beyond. Then, more recently, but certainly not only recently, we have seen cybersecurity come front and center. Those pillars are underpinned obviously by the cloud capabilities and by the wider Microsoft set of competencies. We take also pride in the sense that our professionals, the number of certifications we have, both as a company and for individuals, is extremely high, putting us, as I mentioned, in the top 3% of Microsoft partners globally. Even the fast-track partner for Copilot, which we had an exclusive in 2024. And going forward, and what I really like about this company, is our ability to deliver. All of us in the IT industry know that when we onboard people, it takes a certain amount of time to become effective and then to become excellent. Through the long tenure that the company has had and the continuous investment in human capital, we have ended up with a team that is, on one hand, for global standards, perhaps small to medium, but we're talking about handpicked, each and every one of them being of extremely high competence. This brings us to a case where when we go with large projects with governments, so with large accounts and critical accounts such as financial institutions, insurance institutions, energy, utilities, oil and gas, we develop a relationship of trust more or less from day one. And I think this comes back to that ethos that I mentioned earlier. It is important, and this company is literally built on a legacy of We understand very well what the technology can do. We understand how to translate that into the business value and benefit for the customer. And then we understand very well how to deliver it. And when issues arise, how can we manage that? So our ability to deliver, coming back to competencies, our ability to be customer-centric, our ability to partner with customers and to work in a way where we share benefits and we share the risks and we're there vested in our success, that is something that I believe stands out compared to most of the other ICT companies that I have worked in. In terms of the captive business and where we are today, I think it's fair to say that we are one of the largest ICT companies in Greece. There have already been a certain amount of projects happening in Malta, and then we have had pockets of activity, shall we say, in west of Europe and also in other continents.
Okay.
But in reality, we're talking about south of Europe. We understood, and through the discussions that we have had with the management board, the founders, and Panagiotis himself, who is the CEO, and he has done a tremendous job of growing the company through a crisis that most people would not have been able to manage. We understood that the experiences that we have amassed as a company support our competence and our capabilities very well in two areas as a wave one. We have the Middle East, or GCC to be more precise, and then we have... Now, when it comes to Africa, and since we're in Egypt, we are seeing that a lot of the challenges that Greece also faced and the experience that we acquired in terms of modernizing, shall we say, previous generation footprints, establishing solid digital foundations for a data and insights future, and then partnering with customers through managed services, making sure that from a cybersecurity standpoint, they are set, making sure that they're running the right virtualized environments, but also helping to set up that hybrid connectivity. So the right foundations for the future. We've actually had to do that very, very recently, and we've gained a tremendous amount of experience. GCC is a different story. And I think within GCC, we are about to announce, if it hasn't been announced already in this wonderful conference, about us and our company in the UAE. UAE, obviously, there is a tremendous amount of activity happening in artificial intelligence, data and insights, a tremendous amount of digital transformation activity. And then, of course, there is Saudi. The two things are literally a 1A, 1B, and it can be whichever one of the two you want to say. We understand that, and I think it's fair to say openly in Europe right now, what is happening in Saudi and UAE is being discussed globally as programs that are redefining what can be done at the national level through a very well set national agenda transforming society. And we also see that Saudi has got very aggressive plans that might be an agenda that we have never seen before, just on a different scale, so we say, to UAE. Now, from a go-to-market and reach standpoint, each country is always different, and while we understand that the GCC is a wider region for everybody, we respect cultural differences and we understand the differences of doing business. So we have our activities that are already happening in UAE, but we're also starting activities, including what we're doing here in this conference, of talking to stakeholders in Riyadh, with particular emphasis on AI and what we announced today and what we showed at the demo with the Helios platform. But not only with AI, there are other things happening again when it comes to data and insights. There are things that are happening with regards to power platforms and automation. So wonderful set of opportunities in both countries, slightly different sales cycles, slightly different level of, shall we say, length of time that we will need to spend engaging stakeholders locally, because we absolutely believe in being local as well. In our future go-to-market, I mean, the relationship with Microsoft has been practically sacred, and it is something we will always cherish and we will always value on time. Having said that, let's be realistic and let's be pragmatic, and we like being pragmatic. Customers want to have choice. We're seeing multi-cloud environments. We're seeing national sovereign cloud environments. We've even had discussions here pretty straightforward, where people are telling us, will you be able to run that in our cloud exclusively? I must applaud here Leonidas Papadopoulos from our team, who has been the head of AI, because straight out of the box at the level of design, the platform was ready to support a level of deployment that, even if we talk hyperscaler, it's not only Microsoft, but actually we work with other hyperscalers, and even in production today, we're able to work in national sovereign clouds. We're able to work even on virtual private clouds or clouds of particular companies. And one of the benefits of working inside the European Union is the level of regulation, and some might say perhaps even over-regulation. So when it comes to data sovereignty, data protection, we already have the know-how and we have implemented in production with an absolute certainty that we will not have any leakage of critical data that should not leave confines of whatever it is. Is it a nation? Is it a company? Is it an individual's level of control? We're very proud of what has been done. The amount of interest that we have had after this morning has been tremendous. And I must say it mirrors what the company did at the Microsoft AI Tour in June in Athens, when we showed also a digital twin and how that worked in different languages. And even today we showed how it is multilingual on literally natural language queries. And our fundamental difference is what comes out of the box, pre-integrated in terms of collaboration, productivity, all the tools. The ability to select, at the end of the day, a customer should have the choice to work with whichever underlying engine they want. Is it the GPT or is it another engine? And importantly, based on not only their preference, but also their commercial obligations, based on the commercial pricing, they can choose in a very transparent manner where they can actually see the consumption, the utilization of everything on a real-time basis, and they can actually understand how much is this costing me based on this engine. I understand that for this particular segment and this particular use case, because we have our own playbook of use cases and business cases, and we have a business operation finance calculator, that we can tell them we would recommend that in this industry, for that use case, you should do this, but it is up to you. We come out of the box and we enable. We believe the value is in the enablement. We believe in giving choice and being there for the customers. There are some things happening, and we will be announcing them. We're almost there. In fact, some of them today we have been presenting. Allow me to keep a few things so that we will not announce, but you're absolutely right. Okay. Even in the AI space, and as you move further northbound, shall we say, from the LLM level, we're talking about partnership and ecosystems. There is no more silos in this world and in this time and age. We have identified a few companies with very interesting add-ons, and because of our open architecture, we're in a position to rapidly onboard and offer them. And we understand that some of them are going to be very good for particular regions. We understand that some of them might be very good for particular segments. And in fact, I think it is fair to say, given the work that is being done in particular in the UAE and Saudi, this is going to be one of the prime areas where we're going to be looking for certain partnerships on the ground, because we see the amazing work that is being done. We have such plans, and there are differences per region. We see that in particular, for example, when it comes to governments, and if we take Sub-Saharan Africa as well as Northern Africa, we see that there is a requirement to modernize landscapes. We have a ton of experience in that, and some of the discussions that we've been having even in this event have been around how can we help you to upgrade, shall we say, or update your landscape. This is our experience, and this is how we can help you transition, because transition at the end of the day in terms of delivery is one of the largest risks for any customer. So we can do that as a managed service, we can do that as a partnership through a particular business model that we have, and then add capabilities on top, be it through cloud, be it through hybrid connectivity, be it through modern workspace solutions, be it through power platforms. And we've had wonderful use cases where we see customers have particular requirements where, as they're modernizing their landscape, they want to automate certain things. And there are tools out there that we can use, either on Power Platforms or even what we're doing with our AI, that we can do that. In the Middle East, the activities that we have been talking about, and GCC Middle East to be precise, have been mostly around the AI space. This is fascinating for me because on one hand, obviously, we have a very strong relationship with Microsoft, and we know what all the hyperscalers are particularly doing. But when we see the announcements of what is happening in Saudi, when we see about also what has been happening in UAE, and after the recent visit of President Trump and some of the directions that are being taken, we understand that when it comes to cloud, cloud is an enabler that has a very concrete national strategic agenda of how it is going to be built, even from the point of view of the infrastructure. Case in point, I believe Hewlett-Packard have openly announced that they intend to produce their hardware in Saudi Arabia. I believe also there has been a massive acquisition of GPUs in Saudi Arabia by Humane. So we're seeing all these announcements, and we understand very, very well that when it comes to what we will do with AI, we will need to plug into that ecosystem. And so that's going to be what we're going to focus on.